welcome to Soul Symbols. My name is Shelley. I'm a writer, an astrologer, and a card reader, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. Happy Saturday. It is the weekly energy card reading, and what that is you, the viewer, get to choose from one of 3 tarot or oracle decks, and we'll go through and do a quick spread to see what the general energies will be like for the next 7 days. It does not need to be the last week in March 2021 in order for the messages to resonate. If you come across this reading at any time, there may be messages contained. I like to look at card reading like dream interpretation, and we have a saying in card reading. We always say, take what resonates and leave the rest. So everything that we see here is interpretable, and if you feel like the message is not resonating, then you do not need to take it. Sometimes I like to kind of scroll through a video and just stop. Sometimes that lands on a message you're meant to hear, kind of similar to when you put your music player on shuffle and then it comes up with a song, or if you open a book and then point at a paragraph. Sometimes the universe sends you little nuggets of information that way. So however you want to utilize this reading is the best thing for you. And again, if you feel like the messages are not resonating, you do not need to take it. Now, today we're going to be doing something kind of different, kind of special. I always clarify the reads using one oracle deck, but today I am also going to use some dice. And I've really been incorporating these more in my personal card reading. Like every night I pull cards for myself, and they've just been most informative. So I was really drawn to pull them out. So anytime, again, there's an author that I love to read, and she always says, I do what my Rice Krispies tell me to do. So anytime my Rice Krispies start speaking, I go with it. And it usually gives us a nice, pleasant surprise. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. We have 3 decks today. As usual, they are decks we have not seen in a while because we like to keep things in rotation around here. The first deck is the White Sage Tarot by Theresa Hutch. Yeah, Theresa Hutch. And on top of it, we have a beautiful Shiva heart shell. You can say that 3 times fast. And then the second deck, we have the Tattoo Tarot inked in Intuition. And on top, we have a beautiful red volcanic heart quartz, volcanic red quartz. And then the last deck, we have the Zillich Tarot. And on top of it, it's interesting. I took a really good crystal class, and when I do I'm going to be doing a deck review video right around the first week of April, and there's going to be another stone that I purchased stones from a really great Etsy creator, and she hosted the class, and so I'm going to give you more information about her very soon. But we were trying to discern what this stone is. We're pretty sure that it's, I thought it was a green fluorite, but that would be a little bit more striped. But the jury's still out. I had several really good crystal specialists look at this and give me some ideas as to what we thought it is. And it just pairs so beautifully. This is a very watercolor deck. And, oh, we got the world. Yeah. So it just pairs so beautifully. But I think it's either a green fluorite or there were a few other theories that were thrown out as to what it could be. Now, to clarify today, this is a deck we haven't seen in a while. We're going to be using the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. And on top of it, we have a beautiful raw, pink rose quartz, which is very good for love, by the way. And that also pairs so nicely. Now, the dice that we're going to be using today, this is really actually really cool. I use these all the time for myself. But what it is it's Rory's Story Cubes. And what it is it's a set of different, the main set of dice is blue. And what it does is you can play this, you can use this dice as a game. By what you do is you throw the dice, and each of the die has like a different image on it. And usually what you do is you throw the die and you tell a story using the symbols on the dice. And then you can buy extra, there's extra packs that you can add to it. Like, I think I have the fantasy pack. I have the clues, which is kind of the mystery kind of, this will focus. And again, I've been using these for myself. Like, I'll grab one or two of them, and I'll yeah, I got the crow and the I'm sorry, I'm already getting messages here. But these are wonderful. If you use it, you could use it as a regular game for you and your family, and then you can also use it for yourself for just to pair with your daily card pulling. So, you know, it's a great set. It's nice. But I'll go ahead and let you choose from your 3 tarot decks. We will be clarifying using the I'm sorry, I'm a little slow today. The Animal Oracle and the dice. If you need more time choosing your deck, please pause the video, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I'm going to go ahead and move up the other decks. Per the norm, it was a long day, so but we're going to get this video out tonight. That's what we're going to do. Tenacity is my superpower. All right, so deck number 1, the White Sage Tarot. Deck number 1, what's our energy for the week? Okay, beginning of the week. Okay, middle of the week. Wow, okay. End of the week. Please clarify. Interesting. Very cool, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and get your Animal Oracle, which is interesting because we do have animals in this deck. The court cards are animals, so this should be interesting for your Oracle card. Okay, what's our theme? Right now, let's go ahead and let's grab one dice. Ooh, little gremlin there. Okay, very interesting. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and see. Now, the beginning of the week, you got the 2 of Wands. And what's beautiful about this deck is it has little ribbons, and the ribbons are color-coded based on the chakras. And it's interesting, throughout your whole read, you have 3 green ribbon cards, which represents the heart chakra. So I really think it's going to be a little bit of a love week for you. Either that, or you'll be dealing with either family members that you love, or, you know, we do have a king and a queen here, so it's quite possible, you know, this could be, you know, you and your spouse. But the beginning of the week, this is really interesting. The 2 of Wands is usually about making a choice, or it can be about looking forward to the future, like looking forward to, but a lot of times it's about a little bit about, it can be a little bit about a stalemate, right? It can be, yeah, we got another queen here, Queen of Cups, but Queen of Swords, oh my gosh, we're getting a lot of, I think you have a lot of people around you. Now it's interesting, this, you know, this could be seen in a work context when you have that many court cards, because it could be like higher ups or you know, kind of people in positions of authority that are around you. But when I see this many green threads, I really kind of get that this is your relationship related. But beginning of the week, I just kind of feel like you kind of have a choice between 2 paths, and you know what I keep hearing? I keep hearing the path not taken. You know, I think that's a Robert Frost poem. There's a poem that talks about there was a path in the woods, and I took the one that was least taken. Or I think at the beginning of the week, I think you have kind of a big decision that's facing you. I do think that it's kind of love related. I'm really getting a strong sense you have a choice of either staying where you are or going in a new direction, and it seems to be. I'm also hearing following your heart, like following your heart. So it's almost like you want to do what your instinct is telling you to do, but it seems like it's a very big choice. If this does involve people, I would say that I think you might have kind of a choice with your love life. And at the beginning of the week, I think you're still the you know you're not decided yet. You're not decided yet. I almost get a sense like you're weighing the pros and cons. Can I get one clarifier for the Two of Wands? Four of Pentacles. Oh gosh, yeah. There's a lot of Pentacles energy here too, guys. Hanged Man, Knight of Wands. Okay, yes, yeah. I think you're holding. I kind of read this two ways. This is orange, which is the sacral chakra. You're really holding on to. You're either holding on to money, like you're not leaving a relationship because of money reasons. Maybe you're really thinking about the financial consequences if you exited a relationship, and that doesn't necessarily have to be money. Usually, I'm sorry, money. See, I don't know where that came from. It doesn't necessarily have to be marriage that you're leaving. This could be like maybe you were dating someone and you moved in together, and it would just mean, okay, I have to move out, and it's going to be a big deal, and I'm going to have to, pay for my own place. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but that there's, world events and everything else, it's very difficult, and I just get the sense that you kind of have this weighty decision. The other thing that I get is if it's not primarily money related, like I'm getting a strong sense that you either want to leave a relationship, but it's difficult because there's financial obligations, or you are holding on. You have a choice between a new relationship and an old relationship, and you are holding on to the old relationship, like you're not making a clear cut choice to go towards the other option because the other relationship still holds value for you. Like you don't want to lose something good. But either way, you're kind of holding on. And but that's just your energy at the middle in the beginning of the week. I think you're deciding. It's almost like you're torn between two options. I do get a sense like one option is a little bit more like with the Two of Wands. Usually there's one wand that is more appealing. Like there's one that you kind of know is the one, but again, it would mean leaving an already existing situation, and that might either mean letting go of either some money or letting go of something, the prospect of something that you would have to walk away from. Now the middle of the week is really interesting, guys, is that you got the King of Pentacles underneath Death. And wow, guys, let me just kind of take a look here. Seven of Cups. Yeah, I am getting a strong, what I'm kind of getting here is that just like we were saying, that I think there is going to be a little bit of a transformation. And this Death card is really quite beautiful. It's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. Anytime you go ahead and make the choice, like anytime you go ahead and do what you got to do to move forward, whether that means letting go of something or, taking the action that you need to take, you would, it is liberating. But here I kind of see like with the King of Pentacles underneath and then Death as the crown. You know what I'm almost kind of getting, guys? If it is a scenario, I do kind of think these are kind of highlights. These are like the most important elements of your week. I do think that that they're all kind of tied together. I just think that I think by the middle of the week, you might decide to go ahead and, because this is kind of death over the head of the King of Pentacles, I think that if it means letting go of some money in order to to ensure your happiness, I think you're going to go with the choice that means, you know, I think if this is a relationship, you'll be giving up the relationship that even if it costs you money, right? Even if it costs you money, because I'm seeing this with the King of Pentacles, like you're just gonna go ahead and do it. I kind of get a little bit of a ripping the Band-Aid off kind of feeling in the middle of the week. Either that, or if there's some kind of financial obligation that you've been kind of putting off, it's almost like you're just going to go ahead and do it. You're just going to go ahead and pay the money. If this does involve like kind of distancing yourself from someone, you're going to go ahead and do it. The other thing I get is that I feel like you are going to be really standing in your power. It's almost like you're going to say, okay, this is, I might have to break a lease. I might have to, but this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do. Because the King of Pentacles, honestly, he's a very stable guy. The other thing I get from this is that it's almost like you walk in that room like, okay, if I have to drop, $5,000, boom, here you go. I'm good for it. That's what I'm hearing. I'm good for it. Put put that shit on my on my platinum MasterCard, on my platinum my titanium Amex. That's what I'm sorry guys, I don't know where this is coming from. But I do kind of feel like you're ready for that liberation. The other thing I get is that my mom always has a saying. She says uncomfortable situations are like it's just a wormhole to something better, and that's what I kind of feel like. Like, okay, you see, like it looks like those walls are kind of tightening around you, but you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I think in the middle of the week, whatever you have to do, it'll feel kind of uncomfortable, but it'll feel kind of liberating at the same time. The other thing that I kind of get is that this also could be kind of the ending of, it can be the kind of a severing of a tie to a King of Pentacles. But I honestly get the King of Pentacles as being kind of your energy. And whether you're male or female, it's like, I just get the sense like you're taking the action that you need to take. The other thing is that by letting go, because, death is the natural ending of a cycle. Like, right? Like everything in life is a cycle. Trees in the spring bloom, and then in the fall the leaves die and they go into a hybrid state. Situations with people or relationships, or sometimes they run their course, and holding on to them or staying in indecision, it drags out, it prevents the natural ending of that cycle. And what was it, what was it? When I was pulling the cards here, the World came out. That's really what I'm kind of seeing, the circle. But I think by the middle of the week, it's almost like the other thing with the King of Pentacles is he knows what he values, right? He knows what he wants. But I do think that it's almost like you're letting the cycle end. You're making a decision. I do think that you might be ending one kind of relationship. If you are a woman watching this, it could quite possibly be a little bit of some kind of separation from a King of Pentacles character, but it feels like the right thing to do, though. It's the ending that I almost get the sense like you knew this ending was coming. I don't think that this would be a surprise. And again, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It might feel a little uncomfortable while it's happening. But if this does involve money, the person who has to pay the money is going to pay it. They have it to give. And then if it's you have no problem going ahead and parting with the money to do what you got to do, right? To let things go, and I get the sense it's to let a new cycle begin. Now, by the end of the week, this is interesting. You've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is interesting because it's almost like, it's like going from a king to a knight, and this is your energy. I do get the sense, like, again, if you had some kind of big bill that you had to pay, or again, if this is relationship related and you had to kind of do a cash out thing to somebody, by the end of the week, you feel like you've been demoted a little bit. My dad would always call it. My dad was military, and he always called it being busted down to corporal. It's almost like you're going from King of Pentacles to Knight of Pentacles energy. It's almost like, okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, what is that great Jay-Z line? Where it's like something like I had like 3 million, and then I got knocked down to something, something lower, but it's all right, I'll be back. That's the kind of energy that I'm kind of getting from you. Wow, God, I'm getting some confidence off this pile, y'all. The other thing is that elephants, they are very wise, they're very smart, they're very peaceful, and they take heavy plodding steps, but their memory and the other thing that I get is that I get with the elephant energy, it's like, you do believe in slow and steady growth. And I think that you're a pretty peaceful person. Like, I don't think that you'll be drama or anything about what this is, but I just get the sense by the end of the week you feel like you've been taken down back a few pegs, and actually on this night you see how his ribbon is red, which is root chakra, which talks about basic needs like food, home, shelter. And you see he's got that little pentacle in his trunk. It's almost like, okay, this you took all my other pentacles, but this pentacle's mine. So I think by the end of the week, you're going to be steadily moving forward. Again, I'll look up that Jay-Z lyric, because it's almost like, yeah, I had a few mil, I dropped a few, but I'm not out. I'm not out. I'm just back. I'm back a few. I'll be right back where I was in my kingdom with my king's crown soon enough. But the other thing that I get is that you're also planning. I think by the end of the week, whatever actions occurred, by the end of the week, it's like you're planning to rebuild your future again. Now, what's interesting is that all this energy underneath the Knight, this is a really strong, the cards kept coming out. We've got the Seven of Cups, and we've got the Queen of Wands. And underneath it, we've got the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. And again, the Ten of Wands has that green ribbon around it. The Seven of Cups has a green ribbon. I get the sense that I think there is someone who's busting you down to corporal financially. I think it's someone that you do have a relationship with. I really don't think it's a parent. It could be, because you got a knight here, and you got a queen. But I'm getting more of a sense like, I am kind of getting a partner sense. Like the Queen of Wands, she's a very dynamic woman, but she does like luxury. The other thing is that she's not a pentacles person, right? She's not afraid to drop a dime on some nice cars and nice clothes. And now she's not in the reverse, but the fact that she's depicted as a bird here, and when you look at it, she's holding a wand. And remember, at the beginning of the week, we had two wands, the fact that there's a Seven of Cups here and the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, I'm just going to come out and say it, guys. If you are a man watching this, it is quite possible that you might be choosing someone, but you might also be breaking up with someone. And by breaking up with someone, there's some kind of financial separation. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage. It could just be, hey, we got to break this lease and I'm going to have my stuff out. This woman is going to feel lost. This woman's going to feel lost. Like, you see the Seven of Cups. That's like, what am I going to choose? What am I going to do? Right? And underneath it, especially with that green, that heart chakra being around the Ten of Wands, you feel really burdened, like it's going to be a lot of work. The other thing that I get is that if this is your energy, it's quite possible that maybe you had to, again, same scenario, maybe you had to pay out some money to someone, and but by the end of the week, you're just going to be like, okay, how do I build my money back up again? And the other thing I kind of get is that you have like a lot of choices, like, oh my God, okay, what do I do? And it, with the Ten of Pentacles being here, it just feels like, you know, it could, the one way that I kind of read this is that quite possibly by the end of the week you might be kind of communicating with family, like a family member. You could also, one way I kind of read this, you might be trying to help out a family member and you might have to kind of give them money, but it feels really, it feels like a burden. The other thing is like it's almost like, okay, well, what am I gonna do now? How do I go forward? So the other thing that I kind of get is that with this Queen of Wands, I really do get the sense like I feel like I keep hearing tweeting, like this person's going to be kind of texting you and being like, well, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. It's too much. Um, the other thing I get is that maybe this person's family is somehow involved. Um, this person's family, this Queen of Wands family member, she's maybe, again, if this is like a separation thing, maybe someone's moving in with their family. Um, but I just kind of get, I do think that you feel you have some big energy in the middle of the week, and it's almost like by the end of the week, it's almost like you're kind of deciding how you're going to move forward, deciding how you're going to build your money back up again. You feel a little confused. I think you feel a little overwhelmed and a little confused. Um, if you are a woman, it could quite possibly be a separation from your boyfriend, lovey, and it's just kind of like, okay, how do I move forward? But it does feel, it feels a little bit like an overwhelming energy by the end of the week. But one thing I do think is that I do think that you have family that you can rely on. The other thing is that you know that you're going to be okay. This whole reading is very strong. It's very strong. You might, again, I'm hearing, down but not out. You're not out. You're just, you just got knocked back a few steps, and by the end of the week, it's almost like you're thinking, how can I, the other thing I kind of get is that you're willing to put in the work to get back to where you were. It's just, one other thing I kind of get is that you're kind of gung-ho. That's the other thing, is that the Queen of Wands doesn't play around. She's like, I'm going to do this. But with the Seven of Cups being in the mix, you probably don't have all the facts. I probably wouldn't make any big decisions. The other thing I kind of get from this is I am sensing a little bit of pride going on. So maybe, if you did have to pay someone back or do some kind of payout, or maybe you had to move, you're taking a real, you might have a little bit of a prideful stance in this, where you're like, well, I don't need you anyway. Put your crap in a box, take it, but the thing is, that's being, you want to be careful with that, just because, the Seven of Cups energy, you can, if you look at the Seven of Cups in Rider-Waite-Smith, there's a lot of options, and you might be a little bit in a haze, making, and if this is a big decision, you do want to, even though you might be pressured to make a quick decision, if you see the Seven of Cups come out, wait. If you have to sleep on your mom's couch for a few days, or if you have to, rent a room with someone for a little while, go ahead and do that, because you want to take careful plotting steps forward. Now, your Oracle card is interesting. You got, first off, it's the number 52, which boils down to a 7, and you do have a 7 in the reading. And what we have is we have Scarab Beetle Spirit. magic works through you. And this is a real death kind of card. Like in Egyptian lore, scarab beetles are regenerative. They have several lives. Like I get the sense, like I get a strong theme of like regeneration, right? Regeneration. Again, you got knocked down, back a few pegs, but you're ready to keep moving forward, and you're willing to do the work, even if it kind of weighs you down. You're willing to keep plugging forward. Now, the dice you got was quite interesting. Is you got this little goblin guy, and what I'm kind of seeing there is just that I I am thinking that I do get a sense that, especially with the Four of Pentacles and that Two of Wands, you might kind of doubt yourself a little bit. There's a great card in the what is it? The Sacred Travelers? No, I'm sorry. It is also a Colette Baron-Reid deck. I'll put the name of it. But there's a great card that's called Goblins. And it really does. And actually the coloring in that card is really like this too. But you really, that card talks about how sometimes your own fears, like you like fears that you won't have enough security, or that you won't have enough money, or that you're not good enough, right? Fears like that make it hard because death and scarab is very plutonic energy. And I would also kind of look at where Pluto is in the sky, or I would look at Saturn and make sure Saturn's not making any squares to your Pluto right now, your natal Pluto to the Saturn in the sky, which is like 10 degrees Aquarius right now. Because if you have any planets at around 10 degrees Taurus or Scorpio, you might be manifesting in this energy. But what it is goblins make you doubt yourself. They make you think, oh, okay, you'll never make it, right? And you will make it. You will. It's just I think you're at a very transformative time in your life. And I think whatever's going on here is really making you're really making some big decisions on who you have in your life, how, where you live, how you're living your life. And you're not afraid to make the big changes that you need to in order to transform. And that transformation is coming for you, whether, if the other thing I get with this is that it is a lot easier to let go and let this, like, kind of surrender and let the transformation happen than for you to hold out with that Four of Pentacles energy and not let it come. It's better to let go and go ahead and go with the flow of the new. But do know that by the end of the week, you can do this. Don't doubt yourself. It's just going to be slow and steady. I'm hearing stepping stones. And the other thing is, don't rush it. I know that's easier said than done. If this is like a situation where you really don't have a place, to stay, kind of give it out to the universe. I think family will be there to take care of you. And it might feel like a heavy load, especially at the end of the week. But take your time. Take your time. If you can, go step by step. Get a plan for how you want to budget. And try not to let those little negative voices. Don't let those little goblins get in your ear, because you're in a place of transformation right now, and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And if you are dealing with a Queen of Wands, you might be feeling a little bit guilty, like you might have to put in extra work because this person feels a little bit, you might be making this person, the other thing I kind of get is that you might be dealing with someone who's a little bit drama, not to be mean, but, the Queen of Wands next to the Seven of Cups, she can be a little bit like, well, what am I going to do? She's a strong character. She's in the upright, so I don't think that, I don't think she's like going to be wailing out, but I do think that she might be emphasizing, that she's impacted by this. So But just stay strong, and again, don't let it, all that, don't let the little negative voices get to you this week, because, the Knight of Pentacles always gets where he's going, always. He always does. All right, so deck number 2, we've got the Tattoo Tarot with the Volcanic Red Quartz. So deck number 2, what's our energies for the week? Beginning of the week, please. Ooh, oh my goodness. 7 of Cups again, this time in the reverse. Okay, I'm going to go with the top card. Okay, please clarify. Oh my goodness, honey bunny. Okay, I lost it, but end of the week, please. End of the week, please. Okay. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. All right, guys, I'm just kind of getting a beat on this. I'm getting so many cards about, like, wow, this is crazy. Let's go ahead and get your oracle. Okay, see the big picture. Uh-oh. And let's go ahead and get your... I'm going to take 2 dice. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to ask about this situation. Okay, 1 dice to clarify this for our reader. Okay. And then 1 dice for the week. Okay. Okay. This makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, please clarify my reader. All right, wow, guys, we've got a lot of 6s here. That's the other thing. Now, beginning of the week, you've got, there are no bad cards in tarot, just first and foremost. There are no bad cards in tarot. And in this read, you got 2 majors. You got 2 majors. So what I'm really kind of seeing here is that in the beginning of the week, you got the Tower, and underneath it, you got the 7 of Cups in the reverse. So I think that I really get the sense that if this is your energy, you've really been kind of feeling, I think you've been kind of feeling a little lost in the last couple of weeks. It's like you either had a lot going on where you just kind of, again, you kind of felt like in a lethargic state. The 7 of Cups is like having all these options and not knowing which one to choose. So it's almost like it's almost like a kind of a paralysis of having too much to choose from, right? Or, it's very dreamy. And actually in this card, when you look at it, there are little clouds all around the cups, right? But here I get the sense like especially with the tower, you see that lightning comes down through the clouds, right? Lightning comes down through the clouds. So what I kind of see here is now this is so interesting, guys, is because I'm really getting this whole story. In the beginning of the week, there's going to be some kind of sudden news, and it's going to be, the news is going to be somebody coming out of indecision. It can be you coming out of indecision, and like very clearly, like I read this combination as being like that. Well, I've been thinking about it and thinking about it. Like, say for instance, you had several choices on what school to go to. Like maybe you're going to college and you're like, oh well, I like this one, but I like this one too, and I don't know. And then you've just been, sitting back on your loyal laurels and not making a decision. Then all of a sudden at the beginning of the week, and the tower being a major, it's like a major, it's like something is going to light a fire under your ass. And pardon my French, but something is going to be like, you need to make a choice. And something's going to kind of either push your hand to make a choice to because it's saying, okay, wakey wakey, it's gonna clear these clouds. You had all these cups in the clouds. Lightning's going to come down and clear out those clouds pretty darn quick. The other thing is that you see how it's knocking the crown off, is that kind of says, okay, when you have, don't you kind of feel like a king when you have a choice of between 7 things? It's like people are, the heavens are like, here, do you want this cup or do you want that cup? Or we've got this cup, or look at this one. Don't you feel like, okay, let me think, stroke my hair, like, okay, it's that energy is going to get cleared out real quick. And I would highly suggest watching the How to Tarot on the 7 of Cups, because we talk about that. Sometimes sometimes it's keeping people on the back burner. Like if this is a choice in relationships, sometimes you're like, I like that cup, I like that person, but I'll get back to them. And then later, when you say, oh, okay, I'm deciding to go with that cup might not be there anymore. You know what I mean? And that is kind of knocking your crown off. Like, okay, did you think that these options were just going to be there indefinitely when you haven't made any choices? And this isn't to get on your case because this is your energy, but there is going to be something that kind of pushes your hand, that makes you make a decision, that it's going to really jolt you out of this, well, I have infinite options kind of energy. Now, with it being lightning, it could be something that you saw on Facebook. It could be something that you saw on social media, because the other thing is that the tower, it's interesting. In tarot, they always say that the tower is Mars energy, like Aries, but I've never looked at the tower like that. I think it's straight up Uranus energy. And Uranus is ruled by Aquarius, and Uranus is the electrocution planet, it is the ones that it is sudden change, it's life change. The other thing that I get is that, with it being the tower, it's almost like, I do think that maybe you were comfortable with having all the options. And what's going to happen is something in the beginning of the week is going to say, these options are no longer here. You have to choose one. But it's going to be some kind of, I get the sense it's going to be some kind of news. The other thing that I get is that if this is someone that you're dealing with, maybe someone has been kind of keeping you on the back burner. And they suddenly made a choice, right? But I am getting with the tower, it's like about a crumbling foundation. I think something is going to kind of knock you out of your comfort zone in the beginning of the week, right? The other thing is that it doesn't have to be anything real crazy. Maybe, again, maybe you had been like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna move in 6 months, and then you had your eye on this place, and then you learn, oh gosh, okay, that place isn't available anymore. It's kind of jolting you, right? That would be shocking. I do get the sense this is a separate energy. It could be tied to all this, but we'll see in just a minute. One other thing that I am kind of strongly getting is that, especially with this transition here, um, here we'll go ahead and we'll keep going here. But yeah, something kind of shocking is going to occur, and it's almost like you thought you had time, you thought you had options, you were kind of leaning back on your heels to make a decision, but something's going to kind of kick you in the ass, and not in a bad way. The tower is actually very it clears the air, right? Because you don't want to stay. Seven of Cups is it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very foggy energy. It's a little like, it's a little delirious, right? And you do want to clear out that fog. You don't want to be staying in that state of dissipation. There we go. It's a dissipative state, and the tower just kind of says dissipate. There are times in your life when you need to daydream and and wait and think about things, but there are also times when you're if you've been doing that for a long time, you got to get off. It's kind of I'm getting a poop or get off the pot kind of thing. And I do get the sense that I think I do feel like you were in a little bit of a king or queen's energy where you thought you had more time, or you had indefinite time, right? Now, one thing that I am getting here, which is really interesting, is that we've got the Six of Coins kind of as the bridge, kind of the arcade between these energies. I get the sense like, and because it's a six, um, and we've got the Lovers, which is a six. I'm gonna just come out and say it, guys. I think that you might have had some options in love, and then all of a sudden you might get some news that someone that you were kind of, that you thought would wait around for you, because the Six of Coins is like almost getting your just desserts. It's like getting justice. um, you know I think, whatever this energy is, um, what I'm seeing here is that the middle of the week you've got the Four of Cups, which is another no, I'm sorry, Four of Cups, and then underneath it you got the Ten of Swords. And I don't want you to be afraid, there are no bad cards in tarot, but again, I'm kind of getting a sudden, the thing about the Seven Cups is you have seven cups and you're not choosing a cup. The thing about the Four of Cups is you have yet another hand popping out of the cloud going, here's a cup, and you don't even want it. You don't want it. So, you know what I'm kind of seeing here, guys? If I had to call it, I'd say that, maybe you were leaning back about your choices with either romantic partners, and something kind of shocking happened that kind of knocked you off your throne. Then by the middle of the week, what I'm seeing here is you feel kind of backstabbed. You feel kind of backstabbed by whatever news came out by the beginning of the week. So it jarred you, right? It shocked you. So you're hesitant, right? Because the Four of Cups is that, it's that cloud offering yet another cup, and you're like, whoa, okay, I just got electrocuted over the I just got electrocuted over this other thing. But what I see is that underneath this Ten of Swords energy, it is almost as if one thing is ending really suddenly, and then the universe is immediately bringing in something else that is really, really good. So this is actually a good spread. I would never think that, seeing the Tower and the Ten of Swords in 1 week, but that's what I'm seeing, guys, especially with the Six of Coins. Because the Six of Coins is like, in the Six of Coins, that's about fair treatment. And the other thing that I get is that, I know this might sound a little bit weird, but maybe you were talking to someone, and they you were talking to someone casually, and they weren't really giving you priority. Then you find out, oh my God, they were talking, they were dating someone else this whole time, but then that relationship breaks up, and you're hurt by it. You feel like betrayed, and but this person says, oh, well, I broke up with this other person to be with you. So again, they're finally giving you fair treatment, but it's shocking, and it's almost like you don't even know if you want it, because the way this news is delivered, it's going to be shifting gears really, really fast. It's going to be something really shocking, somebody taking sudden action, getting out of the confusion. The other thing is if there's been any confusion, if there's been anything concealed, that's going to come to light real quick at the beginning of the week. And then by the middle of the week, whatever news this is makes you feel a little betrayed. It makes you feel backstabbed. But it's almost like through this shocking news, the universe wants to give you something new. It's almost like, you know how it always says when one door opens? I think the universe is like, it's using dynamite to blow a hole in the wall and then put this new person right there. I'm getting very sudden energy. And to clarify this, I pulled a dice, and you see it's water, and it's like choppy seas. And what I kind of think of with that is like it's almost like you got to ride the waves. You got to ride it out. This is going to be a crazy week. Please, if this is resonating, I would be very curious, because can I just say, you got shocking news, someone getting off their ass about something. Then it's equal treatment. It's like a fair give and take. I really get the sense that you might have been giving, or whomever you've had on the back burner was really giving to you, and you're finally giving back, or you're finally choosing them. But in the middle of the week, you're going to feel it is going to be a little bit whiplash is what I'm getting. It's like you're going to get sudden news, and then it's going to feel really stabbing. But then in the hole, where in the gaping hole of the fog clearing, look at this, guys. Can I just tell you? Okay, can I just hold these up? I'm going to have to hold them up one at a time. You got, after this craziness, and the 10 is the end of a cycle, right? It's a sudden, there's sudden here. You've got the Ace of Wands, you've got the 4 of Wands, you've got the 2 of Cups, you've got the King of Wands, and you've got the Lovers. Good googly moogly, guys. I'm getting a strong sense that a cycle's going to end. Something either someone is gonna do you dirty, and in the same minute, the moment that you learn what's going on, you're gonna be hurting, and then it's almost like in that gaping hole, a new beautiful person is going to be waiting there like, hey, hi, I heard you're single. I've been waiting for you to become single. My name is, and this is passion here, guys. This is straight up passion. This is passion. And I feel like it's coming in for you. This is coming in for you. It's just, it is, I'm getting whiplash. And I'm hearing the universe is saying, just ride it out. Write it out. The other thing I get is that if you are dealing with someone that has been real quiet, like real mysterious, it's almost like all this news is going to come to light at the beginning of the week. And it's almost, because the six of Cups wanted to come out too. 10 of Coins, Knave of Swords, the Hierophant. Yes. Okay. What does the King of Wands and 10 of Swords mean for our watcher? Now, I really think that this energy is meant for you. I don't think that this is going to be terribly painful. The only other way I can kind of read it is that it's quite possible that you might hear news of somebody that you kind of had your eye on, that you really, you thought things were going well with, and you get kind of shocking news that this whole time they were with somebody else. And it is going to sting, and it's going to hurt. But I'm telling you guys, I'm getting such a strong sense that because we're going from a 10 to an ace in the same week. The other thing I get is that this Four of Wands, that's a real soulmate kind of card. I really get the sense that someone's coming back for you, but it's some drama. Yeah, Nine of Swords. It's just going to be, it's going to be, you are going to be an anxiety ball by the middle of the week, because some kind of like sudden, it's going to be like one thing falling down, and then the moment it falls down, something else is going to come right in and take its place. And I'm getting a strong sense, because these are majors, the Lovers and the Tower, the universe, I'm getting such a sense that the universe is doing this on purpose. It's not trying to give you whiplash, but I think that the universe does not want you to feel any pain. They don't want you to feel any pain. If you're letting go of one person and then a new guy, you know, if you were dating one person and it's revealed that they're just not a good person, and then it hurts, you have a Ten of Swords moment. It's almost like the universe wants to turn you right around and be like, okay, you know, jackass is gone. Here's so and so. You know? The other thing is that the King of Wands knows what he wants, and he's the mature masculine, right? It's like he goes for what he wants. But I'm you know, I kept clarifying, and these cards were coming out for you. But the only other thing that I can kind of get from the spread, guys, is it's quite possible that you were dealing with someone that has been very, very quiet. Like, it's almost like you didn't even know that this person was into you. And they do this entire 180 where but I do sense that you're going to hear something shocking about it. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be like totally out of the blue. And it's going to throw you into a little bit of a spiral of anxiety, because it's just so fast. But there's a lot of happiness here, guys. I just get this sense, and I'm hearing very strongly, and actually when we get to your oracle cards, I'm hearing very strongly, if this is someone doing kind of, my sister calls it pulling a crazy Ivan, like the moment that, you know, someone does something completely out of the blue, and it's really quick and deep. Now, one thing I will caution is that with this much Wands energy, and it being Two of Cups, the Lovers, King of Wands, don't be afraid to give a little pushback. If someone is pulling a crazy Ivan on you, you know, something really shocking comes out about them, and then they're turning around and you know, I am kind of getting like one person breaking up with someone and it being very public, and then they turn around and say, well, you're the one I've been wanting this whole time, you know, Seven of Cups in reverse, the air's clearing. It's going to put you into a very pressured position, and it's going to shock you, and it's going to feel, again, you're going to go right into your Four of Cups mode, like, oh my God, you know, the universe is handing me another cup. I'm afraid, you know, I'm afraid. But I would say ride the waves. The other thing is try not to do anything. If this does involve some kind of crazy news, I would try to breathe. Try to breathe through it. Try to sleep on it. I don't think you're going to be sleeping because you got the Nine of Swords here. But you know, just kind of breathe and take it easy. Because by the end of the week, you got the Two of Swords. And I'm not laughing, guys. I'm not laughing, but good googly. And the other thing, this is all air and fire and emotion. We've got a little bit of Pentacles here. And it's interesting, the Six of Coins is right underneath the Tower. One other way I could kind of read it is it's quite possible you were dealing with someone who had some kind of financial entanglement with someone else, and that's finally ending, and this person is coming back to you because they love you. But it's still going to throw you into a spiral because you're going to be getting some kind of crazy news about them. It's really going to feel like a betrayal to you. Then it turns around, you know, again, crazy Ivan turns around and becomes a love offer to you. That's, you know, we're soulmates. I'm so attracted to you. I love you. You know, it's going to be, I'm just going to ask one. I know we have a ton of cards, but this is some deep energy. Okay. What does all of this mean for the Watcher? What's all this love Four of Swords. You've got cards here about rest. You've got cards here. Six of Swords. You've got cards here about, yeah, you're gonna have to ride the waves of this week, guys. This is gonna be up and down waves. Just breathe. The other thing is that if anybody is doing a crazy Ivan love offer, let them make the love offer. Don't say yes or no. Don't accept or decline. Just say, I gotta think about it. I gotta sleep on it. I mean, I need, I don't know what you need. You might need like something naturally anti-anxiety, you guys. But it's not funny. It's just shocking. There's going to be something really, really shocking about this. And the only thing was with this Ten of Swords, there's going to be something kind of stinging about it. But the thing is, with the Four of Swords and Six of Swords and Two of Swords, those are all kind of it's being torn, but it's not like tearing you up kind of stuff. You know, like, I don't think this is going to be bloody, what's going on here. I just think it's going to be really surprising. It's going to shock the hell out of you. And then it's going to do this total 180. And I'm getting and by the end of the week, the Two of Swords, that's the jury is, I think by the end of the week, you're still going to be reeling by what happened. You're still going to be like, oh my God, did that happen? Did anybody get the license plate of that bus? But what it is that you're going to be feeling a lot of things under the surface, because when you look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, it's the woman with the two swords, and in the background there's churning water. There's going to be a lot of churning water underneath the surface. This is going to stir you up. But it is telling you that there's going to be something really shocking, and then you're going to turn, it's almost like you turn around and there's going to be this like this once in a lifetime love offer standing there, and you're just still going to be like, kind of like, again, did anybody get the license plate of that bus that just hit me? And it's telling you to you know, just retreat and think. If somebody is making you a love offer, be like, okay, let me think about this, and, you know, maybe pull away. Try not to, the Six of Swords is about moving away from troubled waters. So sometimes it can mean about try not to let the peaks and the lows get to you. You know, it is going to be a balance. But by the end of the week, you're just going to be, I think you're going to be keeping yourself in balance, where you're going to decide what you want to do. Some kind of revelations coming out at the beginning of the week, guys. Now, the two cards you got is really interesting. Is you got Wasp Spirit, and it says sometimes life stings, and that's a 64, which is a 10. Boils down to a 10, and you have a lot of sixes here too. You got Six of Swords, the Lover's a 6, and the 6 of Coins. Now, and then you also got Giraffe Spirit, which says see the big picture. And that's a 29. That boils down to a 1, which is almost like this ace. Again, it's almost like you're going from a 10 to a 1. But, or a 2, because 2 and 9 is 11, and then 2. Yeah. I would say just take it easy. I think there's a higher purpose to this. Whatever craziness is occurring, the universe knows what it's doing. This is one thing, I'm guided to say this. The universe always has a plan. And sometimes the thing is, the universe tries to gently guide you from stage to stage, but sometimes it doesn't have the luxury of that. If there's an opportunity, like, you know, if you've been waiting for your soulmate and your soulmate's in the room, if the universe has to kind of throw down a lightning bolt in order for you to notice that person, or for things to come together, it'll do that. Now, the other thing is that there is a lot of the other thing is that the tower itself, If you want, we do have a How to Tarot here on the channel about the Tower. That is very Saturn versus Uranus energy, and Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. So I do think that this might be some kind of transit that's making contact to your personal planets. Saturn is in 10 degrees Aquarius. It's about to go to 11 degrees Aquarius. So I do get the sense, and the other thing is that fact that this is mostly air and fire. It might be making a supportive transit to you, but it is almost like a blessing, and it's almost like what looks like catastrophe is really opening up something. So what it's telling you is that yes, this might kind of smart, it might sting, but see the big picture. See the big picture. The other thing I get is ride the waves. Don't take any action even if somebody's getting down on one knee and proposing marriage. Try to wait and think and maybe pull back and kind of breathe through it. The other thing I get here is that this is interesting. Your other tile you see this person, and what it is it's upside down, but this person is kind of playing with dolls, right? But then when you look at it, it's upside down, which means I get the sense that the universe is really trying to get you to break free from someone who's kind of playing with you. Or I'm seeing kind of not really marionette strings, but the other way I kind of read this too is that sometimes this can be Seven of Cups energy, because it's almost like playing in your mind. Like you see this little kid, and look, there's a crown on it too. Oh my gosh, synchronicity alert, guys. There's a crown on it, and there's what the Tower had a crown on it, right? That gets knocked off. So yeah, I get the sense that maybe someone really thought that they had you, and that energy, that sense of either manipulation or that sense of daydreaming, because that's the other thing, is that this is breaking you out of the daydream. Just one last way I can kind of read it, guys, is that maybe you really had some kind of illusions about a person. You kind of kept them in a little bit of a dreamy kind of, you saw them in the hazy eyes, and this is kind of this is helping you break out of that energy. But I still insist that whatever, if it does need to snap you out of one thing, it has something else lined up and ready that is actually good for you. But don't rush it, though. I do think this is going to be a little bit of a, again, whiplash kind of week. By the end of the week, just kind of try to work through your emotions, but definitely try to see the bigger picture. And I also just feel like this is a synchronicity. I think by the end of the week, if you start to doubt or start to feel anxious or depressed, look for the symbol of a giraffe, and just remember, look at the situation from a bird's eye view. Like, look, the other thing I get is kind of rise above it, right? And remember that the universe has a plan. So whatever's going on here, the only time the universe comes in with lightning is when it has to move fast. And when it moves fast, it's because there's an opportunity there that it doesn't want you to miss. All right, guys. So, wow. Oh my gosh, this is powerful. But and you can see what I like about those dice. They are very helpful. All right. So deck number 3, the Zillich Tarot, and I think green fluorite. we're figuring it out. I'm going to talk to my crystal experts, and we're going to figure out what stone this is. But beginning of the week. Oh my God, we got the Tower. Okay, is there some kind of transit going on next week? Tower in the first position. We got the same position there. And what was it? And somebody got death in the middle of the week. But it was the beginning of the week was about decisions too. It was about making a choice. Okay. Okay, middle of the week, please. Wow. End of the week. End of the week. Wow. Okay, one last card, because we've got some majors here, guys. Oh my god. Oh. This has to be the Saturn in Aquarius. This just has to be, because I'm just serious. You know, there is a whole generation. If you have Pluto and Scorpio, it could be that the Saturn in Aquarius is making contact, because that's how the tower would manifest. Wow. All right, let's go ahead and get your dice. Okay. Now, there are no bad cards in tarot, but I feel like everybody watching this video probably should check out the How to Tarot on the Tower. Try saying that 3 times fast. Because at this point we've got some towers, there's some tower energy in the house is what we got. Now, beginning of the week, wow, guys, you got 3 majors. We got 3 majors, and the way I always read this spread is I always read it like this is the like a flower. The top energy is what you see on the surface. The root is this card, and then the stem. So it's like the root, the stem, the bloom. So what you're seeing, what's manifesting is this, but how you got there is the root of the situation is this. The growth of it is that. So what I'm really seeing here, guys, is I'm seeing liberation from a situation that's really held you down. And I get a strong sense, especially with this, is that it might be, I'm hearing, I'm seeing in Lenormand there's a tower card. There's actually in Lenormand there is a tower, and it's not that it has a slightly different meaning than the tower in tarot, but I get a strong sense that the symbolism is correlated, because the tower in Lenormand kind of means standing guard. It also means about like going, you've seen, if you've ever been to the beach and you've seen those towers that are at the beach that have like, they almost look like the turret of a castle, but what they are, where they were really military based. It's where you would go to have the high ground and you can defend yourself. Right. The other thing is that the tower in Lenormand is really about isolation and standing your ground. Like it's like saying, okay, I believe this, and this is what I believe, and you're staying in the high position, right? You're staying true to what you believe, even if it isolates you. Here, I'm seeing that the root of the situation, and honestly, this is at the beginning of the week. I feel like there's some big changes going on in your life right now, guys. I feel like I think you've been trying to move forward. Like the other thing about the Chariot is that the Chariot, he harnesses, this is about willpower. This is about willpower. You've been, I think for a long time, you've really been forging forward, and you've been moving forward quickly. And what I kind of get is, what I'm almost getting is that I get the sense like you want your independence from something. You've wanted your independence from something, and it's almost like full speed ahead. You will stop at nothing for you to have what you want. Right? And I'm getting a strong willpower. The other thing is that the sun in this, right? Like the other thing I'm hearing is that you just want to be happy. You just want to be happy, and it's almost like you're putting blinders on. You're like, okay, I'm going towards the source of my happiness, nothing's going to stop me. But what I see here is you've got three majors. So the source of this is the Chariot. So you've been really harnessing your willpower to move forward. Maybe that's with your financial goals, maybe that's with your living goals or school. But the other thing I kind of get with this is that if you're watching this video at the time it posts and you're in, North America, world events with the pandemic, things are not back to completely normal, but things kind of feel like we're getting out of the woods. So it could kind of feel like, again, full speed ahead. Now I have a path in front of me. It's no longer, there's no more stagnation. I can actually move forward now. But what I get here is I am getting a strong sense that you have some kind of codependency going on. So here because on top we've got the devil. And then above it we've got the tower. And what that is that I can kind of read this one of two ways, guys. One way I kind of read it is that maybe been going kind of, if you feel like you've been going kind of full speed ahead, maybe you've been either spending a lot of money or, indulging a lot. And you've just it's kind of like, darn the consequences, I don't care, you only live once. That kind of lifestyle is going to take a little bit of a hit in the beginning of the week, and not in a bad way, but it's just it's just kind of it's kind of the wake up kind of energy. If you have any habits that are not healthy or are not on the level, again, the tower is the tower crumbles because it's not built on a solid foundation. So that this can be job related, like maybe you started some kind of financial endeavor or some kind of job and you really got yourself indebted with it. Like, maybe you started, some kind of path where, maybe you borrowed money, or again, it was just full speed ahead. Let me do things this way. If this plan or this endeavor was not on a solid foundation, by the middle of the week, you're going to feel like that foundation's crumbling, right? That endeavor is just not working out. The tower is falling, right? The other thing that I kind of get with this is that it's quite possible that if you had any type of not entanglements, but if you had any type of any situation where you were codependent on someone, whether that be financially or anything like that, you have been working to get out of that situation. And I think it's finally, the tower's finally coming down. It's either liberating you from this devil energy, or you're going to be feeling the consequences of that fast-paced kind of lifestyle or whatever it was, and it's going to be kind of towards the beginning of the week. Now, one other way I can kind of see this is it's quite possible that maybe you were close to somebody, and they're taking a fall, and you are because of your association. Maybe you and your friend started a restaurant and all of a sudden you find out that they borrowed too much money, but because your name's on the deed too, you're involved, right? So it can be kind of that energy. But the Chariot is very positive. The Chariot's very positive. But it does mean about, like, it is kind of like full speed ahead and darn the consequences. So if you feel like you've been kind of doing that, maybe spending the same amount of money even though you should have been budgeting, or indulging when you know that it was probably not best for you, by the beginning of the week you might be seeing some kind of fall of that behavior. You're going to be feeling like it's going to be a wake-up call, right? It's going to be a wake-up call. The other thing that it can be is that we do have quite a few kind of pentacle energy here. Sometimes it can be health related. So, if if you smoke or if you drink or, goodness knows, I eat way too much sugar. I actually had a coworker talk about how they were doing a special diet to kind of cleanse the liver and cleanse the body, and I thought that was very good because goodness knows, even the amount of tea that I drink is probably not good. I just needed to have like a day of nothing but water, right? But you're going to kind of feel that in the beginning of the week. And these are three majors, so it might be something kind of big. It might be something kind of big. But yeah, I do just kind of get the feeling like the other thing that I kind of get is whatever this is, it'll be kind of good to let it go. Like just let the tower fall, right? If it was anything that was not working well for you, um, the other thing I kind of get is I kind of get an energy of full stop. Like something's really knocking you down a little bit. And, but it needed to happen though. It needed to happen. Um, the other thing that I kind of get with this is that I feel like you probably felt like somebody had some kind of power over you. And I'm kind of hearing ivory tower. You know how some people really think that they're like high and mighty or above you, but you're kind of seeing, you're experiencing a fall, right? Um, in some situations, it might be a little bit of a fall from grace, but just know that if you again it is I'm getting a sense like it was almost by association, like it wasn't all your actions that brought this about, but you were tied into it, right? You were obligated to it. The other thing I kind of get is that maybe whoever it was that got you involved, it was so tempting, right? It looked like, if it was an investment that you plugged all your money, into, it looked really good, right? Um, but as we move along, I see a lot of power players here, guys. So this could quite possibly be kind of business related or work related. Um, yeah. Um, there might be some kind of drama that's going down, and I think it has something to do with some kind of ethical behavior, or some kind of practice that was done. Now, um, one other way I can kind of read it is that maybe at work or in I'm not getting a family environment. I'm really getting more of a work environment. Maybe in some kind of work environment, maybe you really have been working under some authority figures that have been kind of shady, and now that is coming to light, right? And that reign is ending. Again, the tower we saw in the last deck is it's a fall from grace, so it doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be someone that you were working under. But it's almost like it. I do get a little bit of corruption with this, right? The other thing I kind of get is with the chariot, maybe you were trying to hold things together. Maybe you saw some kind of shady dealings going on, but you were, he holds the reins of the two horses and gets them to go the right direction. But I see at the beginning of the week that whatever that institution or whatever that is really, it's crumbling. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But it is a little bit, the other thing I get is that it's a little bit shocking. It could be that the news of this, the news of this is kind of getting out. Now, by the middle of the week, I'm kind of seeing more of that kind of same energy, just because you got the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is like an epiphany. It's like something coming to light. Um, but again, in kind of this is a really good way. Um, but what I see here in the middle of the week is you've got the Ace of Swords underneath the Emperor and the Prince of Discs. And the Prince of Discs in this deck is the King of Pentacles. So, and we had the King of Pentacles in the first deck. We might have some cross watchers here, guys. But I get the sense that there might be some structural changes going on either at work or with business. This could be a business partner, or um, But what I see is I see the king of money, and this is actually a bull, so that can be a real Taurus person, or it can be a businessman, someone who deals with investments or finance, possibly insurance. And I see this, like, the outward energy is you being, I see you being real stable by the middle of the week. You know what I'm also kind of getting is that maybe some crazy, maybe some stuff is coming to light. It might be, again, some structural changes within a business, possibly where you work. And I get the sense that you're really kind of stepping up. You're stepping up, and you're seen as the reliable person. Now, this can be, if you're a woman in this energy, that's completely fine. You can be a woman in the King of Pentacles energy. It just means that you're very steady. It's almost like again, you're holding things together. You're holding everything together. Um, the other thing that I get is that underneath it we have the Emperor. So, what I'm also kind of feeling here is it's quite possible, again, if something went down, that you might have touched or been affiliated with, it's almost like by the middle of the week, you're sitting down with either the CEO or the boss, or it could be your new boss. The other thing I get is that, the Emperor is kind of like, he's the King of Kings. So you could be, kind of explaining your part in the situation. But I get that you're going to do it in a very factual way. And I see the King of Pentacles is a very honest person. He honestly, because when it comes to business actions, there's always, it's it's kind of just the facts, like, okay, I transferred this much money, and it went into this account, and this is what happened. And you can see it's almost like, it almost seems like the Emperor, almost like a judge, he's sitting there and like listening. So I do think that you're going to be very much in your integrity. In the middle of the week, I do think that you're going to have some kind of meeting with like a boss like person. This could be you. This could be family related. Like, it might be you down in front of an uncle or a grandfather. But I'm definitely getting more of a boss vibe. You might have like either that, or you might have some kind of annual review or some kind of one-on-one. But I get the sense that your energy it's practical, it's stable, it's level-headed. And, just look at this bowl here, guys. I think you're gonna say what really happened. The other thing is, I think that you're gonna be. I'm kind of. I keep hearing the phrase, you're gonna get tapped to do something. So quite possibly, maybe something kind of shocking happened again. Maybe there was something that happened that kind of rocked the foundation of something, and a boss might be kind of tagging you to fix it, or either that, or sitting down to talk to you about what happened, because again, we have the Ace of Swords. The last thing I kind of get is that maybe someone has to kind of call you into their office to explain something that was kind of quiet and, dramatic. Like, again, something hit the fan, and this person is like, okay, this happened, Ace of Swords. They're going to be revealing to you what's going on, and you're going to be shouldering it in a very responsible way. And I do get the sense like you're almost participating in that, in the cleanup is what I'm kind of feeling. Now, by the end of the week, this is really quite interesting, guys. You've got some interesting energy here. I do get a sense that something either is going on at work or with family, or if you're a business owner, this could be like with partners. There might be a partner that's leaving. There might have been a partner who was doing something shady, and you had to, cut them out. But at the end of the week, you got the Five of Wands, which is strife. And you see this woman, she looks like she's trying to fly away, but she looks like it looks like her feet are stuck in tar or something. Like, yeah, it's like she's got tar on her wings. Like she can't fly yet, right? She's bogged down. And Five of Wands is drama, right? I can definitely see Five of Wands being like the the days after a fallout, right? For the same reasons. Like if maybe someone has to pack up and leave, and you have to, maybe you're their replacement, and it's just awkward, and conflict ridden, and and kind of petty is also what I'm getting, kind of petty. But underneath it, you got the Three of Wands. And what's interesting is that in the Three of Wands, this person looks like, if you can kind of see it, this person looks like they're holding their head. There you go. You see, kind of like they have their head in their hand, right? And the Three of Wands in tarot is about waiting for your ships to come in, right? Um, so it might be, again, I'm getting a strong sense like something there. You're in the midst of some heavy change, but right now it's very conflicted because maybe people are leaving, maybe people have been pulling stuff. Maybe some kind of workload is falling on you. And it's almost like you're waiting for things to get better. It's just everybody, it's just, drama and conflict. And, the other thing about the Five of Wands is I always joke, it's like everybody has a stick, right? It's a little bit of a pissing contest, maybe everybody is, this could quite potentially be some kind of event that occurred, and now everybody thinks that their idea is the way that you solve it, right? So I get the sense by the end of the week, you are going to be you're going to feel bogged down. The other thing I get is like, it's almost like you want to fly away, but you can't. One last thing that I kind of get is that it's almost like you're waiting for better things to come. Like you're dealing with all the bickering, you're dealing with all the drama, all the fallout. You got your head in your hands, like, okay, I need some aspirin, like right now. And underneath it, you got the Four of Swords, and it says truce. So I think that you're gonna soldier through this. I see a lot of the same gray colors here. You're gonna feel a little bogged down for a little while. Maybe some kind of it's possible that maybe an unflattering truth came out. Maybe there was a mistake that was made, and again, I also get that maybe you were moving too fast. Um, This is a little bit interesting though, guys, because the other thing I'm kind of getting is, does this somehow involve a car? Some kind of drama involving a car. Um, and I'm feeling that for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe you got into a car accident or something. I don't know. Sometimes one other thing that I kind of, this is just a factoid, and I'm not sure why this is coming out, but it might be relevant, is that sometimes when you work in financial industries, you have to, in order to work in that industry, you have to have a very clear credit record. Like you can't have any, no bankruptcies, no foreclosures, nothing like that. So if you did have some kind of blemish on that, if that's either coming out and it's impacting your work life, like, okay, yeah, I had a motorcycle repoed, and all of a sudden you have to sit in front of your boss and explain it. It's embarrassing. Um, and again, that can be kind of devil energy too, because like, okay, in my young and stupid days, I did this, and it's coming back to haunt you, even though you're older now and mature. But I do get the sense by the end of the week, I do get the sense like there's some kind of, it's possible that you might have to like deal with people, and it's really awkward because the Five of Wands is about like everyday conflict, and the Three of Wands is really about like you waiting for things to get better. Like you can't wait for things to get better. It's a headache now. It's bogging you down now, but you have to kind of ride it out. And Four of Swords is truce. And the Four of Swords is about kind of going to your corner. The other thing I get is that as you go into the weekend, try not to take your work with you. Um, One other way I can kind of read this, guys, and I thought this was interesting because the little tile you got is the little digging guy. Hold on, let me see. Let me put my hand up so you can see it. You see how the guy is digging? And it kind of came out on the side like this. Um, I don't know where this is coming from, but I keep hearing you're kind of digging your own hole. One way I can kind of read it is that if this is something, if it was some kind of action that you took that kind of backfired or resulted in a fall from grace, you want to step up. The best way to handle that is to step up and be honest about it. Again, in my young and stupid days, or yes, I made this mistake. But that way you can own it and then move forward. You don't want to dig yourself deeper, is what I'm hearing. Don't dig your own hole, is what I'm hearing. And then by the end of the week, I do see that there's some conflict here. But if you survive the conflict, if you stick it out, is what I'm hearing. And again, the King of Pentacles. If you stick it out, things will get better. It just seems like you have to wait for it. And by the weekend, you also see that this man is wearing armor, and he takes his helmet off, and he's kind of sitting on the. I'm hearing stepping stones. The other thing I get is that you might be kind of meditating over the weekend. I think this is causing you a lot of anxiety. And again, with this person holding their head, it's almost like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? I think over the weekend, it's important to check out, if this is work related, get away from it, leave work at work and actually have downtime, have time that's your own. And try to decompress. The other thing I get is that anxiety really follows you, especially when you have stuff like tower moments going on. So you do want to be kind to yourself, because I do also get the sense like you're kind of moving. You feel like you feel like you're walking through molasses, right? You're walking through tar. You can't. The other thing I get is that whatever this is slowing you down. And it's almost you were going full speed ahead, and then it was just like the tower hit, and now you can't fly. I'm hearing you had your wings clipped. That might be this boss person too. Had your wings clipped. The Ace of Swords underneath the Emperor too can be a little bit of a come into Jesus meeting. Just to put it out there, someone might have called you in the office, but I do think that you handled it in a professional way. And again, own if it was a mistake, own the mistake, be responsible, because that stands out. That fleshes out your character more than you know. The other thing I get is that you can get yourself. The other thing, again, I'm hearing a lot of get yourself out of this hole kind of energy. You're trying to get yourself out of this situation. But without digging in deeper, is what I'm hearing. Now, we went ahead and I was guided to take 2 oracle cards, and this is great. You got Horse Spirit, which is 33, and we did have a 3 with the 3 of Wands. And there is a lot of horse imagery with the Chariot, it really. And it says freedom is yours. Freedom is yours. You might feel like you're trapped or that you've had your wings clipped, but try not to be in that mindset. I think things will get better. I think you will get yourself out of the hole. But just try to remember, the other thing I get is, again, over the weekend, if you are kind of feeling like burdened, try to lighten up over the weekend. Try to do activities that make you feel free. And then the other one you got number 4, which is Badger Spirit, which is be fearless and be bold. And this is interesting. I really feel like the expression on the knight looks like the badger. Don't they look something about the nose and the stripes, something about that, like the two dark sides of his mustache. But be fearless and be bold. So I'd say that I do think that, again, you do want to step up, speak your truth. The other thing is, I do think that the other thing that I get is that, these are 2 very, like, take action kind of cards. But by the end of the week, I feel like, again, you might have a situation where there's a little bit of jockeying for power. You might be replacing somebody, or you might be called to take responsibility for some kind of action that you took. But try not to let this dim your freedom. It's going to be a little bit of a balance. The other thing I get is that, you know, I would say that, you know, the tower moments occur when there's been a lot of excess. And it's funny, from an astrological point of view, it's true. Every single Jupiter planets, which are very Sagittarian ruled, which reminds me with the horse, you know, like the centaur, you know, half man, half horse. Every single time you have a Jupiter transit, Jupiter is the planet of luck. And when Jupiter goes through a sign that really supports you, it's in Jupiter for a long time. Like Jupiter's a slower, it's an outer planet, so it moves slower. It changes signs, I think, every 9 to 10 months or a year. And so you have this long span of having luck, like beams of luck. I always fall into money every single time Jupiter makes a good aspect, right? But what happens is, as soon as Jupiter leaves, it seems like Saturn goes into a sign that squares or challenges you. So what the universe is doing is it gives you a lot of abundance, right? It gives you that great Gatsby, okay, let the champagne flow. And then it's like, okay, did you manage that abundance well? Because if you didn't manage that abundance well, you know, easy come, easy go. So sometimes it does. It loosens the belt so you can be free and be, you know, expand. But then sometimes right after those transit, it tightens it again, or it brings in your life lessons, right? So it is a little bit of a test of your morals with that. And that's what Jupiter rules. It rules ethics. It rules philosophy. So sometimes it is a test of your character to say, okay, when you're free to do whatever you want, do you act and behave ethically? Because later, on the heels of that Jupiter transit, Saturn's going to come in and be like, okay, now it's time to pay your taxes. You know, it's gonna challenge you and constrict you and make you budget. So I kind of see that here. I think it wants to encourage you to keep that free spirit. It doesn't want to dampen your spirit, but it does want you to act responsibly, because that's what brings about tower moments. But I do think that this is a good week. But it's amazing how in all three piles there is something going on in the beginning of the week, and I'm not sure if this is like, again, you know, I don't know if this is Saturn, but the collective energy, there's a change a coming. And the best way for us to handle that energy, just like, is to just kind of ride the waves, ride it out, and I really think it's interesting. You know, the little digging man is right over the freedom cards, so I wonder, you know, maybe you've been real serious and you know you need to lighten up, but I would definitely say by the weekend try to do activities that make you feel free, you know, and try to leave work at work. Don't take work home with you, you know. Enjoy your freedom. But wow, guys, oh my gosh, this is a really, all three of those were crazy deep. Good Lord. So, but you can see why I love the dice. The dice really helps. I use it every day, really, for myself. But I thank you so much for joining me today. Now, normally I would have, I've just wrapped up the How to Tarot series. So we did the last How to Tarot last week with the King of Cups. It was a great video. I'm very proud of it. I feel like that was the best way to wrap up the series. So there are no more How to Tarots on Tuesday, but I promise you I do have other videos in the works. I am going to just be taking a break for a little while, so it is going to be just kind of the weekly energy for a while. But then after that, I will have I'll have a special angel and meditation card deck collection review for on Easter, the weekend of Easter. And I also will be trying to get out the, just like we saw the animal deck today, I have an animal deck collection. I'm going to try to get that out soon as well. But I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a very good week. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.